with ESU men's cross country, head coach Joe Koch and senior Frank Fezza. And Frank, you won the Paul Short Invitational on Friday at Lehigh. Can you talk about what your mentality was going into that race?
Yeah, I didn't have too much of I didn't really plan on winning the whole race, but we were kind of training through, and it was just, I was up in the front for most of it, and the way it came out, I had enough at the end to make a move the last mile.
Joe, we had talked previously in the week that you thought Frank would have a chance to run in the top 10. How did his finish meet your expectations, and what were you looking for?
Well, I think we were, Greg, real pleased with the way he put the race together. One thing him and I spoke about prior to Friday's race was maybe being a little more aggressive at the start and putting himself more in a position where he can place high in some of these bigger meets. And he really executed that race plan well, and the results speak for themselves.
Frank, you're coming off an injury going from your freshman into your sophomore year. Obviously, you rebounded. You've been all-region twice in your career as a freshman and a junior. What did you gain from that experience, kind of having the year off as a sophomore and bouncing back for your senior season?
I definitely matured a lot over that year and a half. And, I had a lot of foot problems, and then I'm definitely a different runner than I was freshman year. Then I was more just kind of waiting until the very end to make my move, and now I could actually run the whole race pretty good, I feel.
Joe, just talk about the miles that these kids put in from the start of cross-country season and for most of them through indoor and outdoor track.
Yeah, well, actually, Greg, they start training back in May, just after the school year lets out. These guys slowly build their mileage up throughout the summer to the point where they're running 70 to 80 miles a week in August, September, even into the first half of October. And then for the championship meets, we start cutting back a little bit, take a little break after cross-country. And it's kind of the same plan throughout the rest of the year. So they're putting in a lot of miles, probably on average approximately 10 to 12 miles a day. So that's well over 3,000 miles a year.
And Frank, obviously that becomes a lengthy season when you're out on the road in various venues putting in those miles. From preseason through the first 3 meets this year, how are you feeling?
So far, I feel amazing. It is a long season just because it starts all the way in the summer and you have to build up through, but the summer is really just going out every day and getting just easy distance in, and then when we come back we get the workouts and it all comes together at the end.
Joe, from the men's team to transfer to the women's team, you've got 2 top runners there and really a deep team overall, but Rose Muscoli and Corinne Fitzgerald up at the top of the pack. They've both been national qualifiers. How are they running so far?
We're real pleased with the way their seasons are going. They didn't win the race like Frank did on Friday, but they finished 5th and 6th, and being so close in ability, they kind of feed off of one another, which is a ideal situation from a coach's perspective. So real pleased, and I think there are a lot of good things to come the second half of the season.
You'll be running in the PSAC meet coming up on October 20th and the regional meet the weekend after that. Frank, what's the mentality of yourself individually and then as a team as you're going into this stretch run?
Well, the regional is really my main focus. The conference meet is going to be good for us to really see what we're up against for the regional, but the race isn't one up front. It's going to be however our 2 through 5 guys really do.
And Joe, ESU especially on the men's side has been a really big pack running team. A couple years ago, I think your spread was maybe 30 seconds from 1 through 5. With Frank running up front, obviously, and you've got a couple other guys. Tell us about them.
Well, last year we had a very successful season, and like you said, and what Frank alluded to, you're only as good as your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th runners. So that's enabled us to do real well team-wise. Obviously, our spread is growing because Frank's running so well, but if we can keep it in that 45, 50, 55 second range, that means that if Frank is our 1st runner to our 5th runner, we're less than a minute, we should do extremely well at our conference and regional meets.
And where do you feel that both teams are right now compared to where you expected them coming into the season?
That's a great question, Greg. There's always some surprises. Our guys are competing extremely well. On Friday, I think we ended up beating 11 Division I teams and beat the teams. There were several teams from our conference in the race. We beat them as well. So we have a couple of minor injuries, so we're doing well overall. Last year we were fourth. Obviously, we feel we can finish in the top three if everybody stays healthy and runs well. The women, there are two teams kind of out front, and then there's a whole bunch of teams from third through eighth, let's say. So we fit somewhere in that mix. How much a team improves over the next few weeks will determine whether we finish third, fifth, or eighth.
Okay. Joe Koch, Frank Fezza, thanks for your time, guys.
You're welcome.